2020 is an election year. It is when the voices of all American citizens are promised to be heard and valued. Voting defines freedom. It is a way people's truths can be spoken and heard. Not all of these voices are heard, though. 5.2 million Americans cannot vote due to felony disenfranchisement. That is 5.2 million voices that are muted. Out of these millions of people, 1 in 16 African Americans cannot vote due to felony disenfranchisement. That is a huge portion of the population that has a key part of citizenship taken away. They are outcasted, defined by one crime. Disenfranchisement says, once a criminal, always a criminal. Felony disenfranchisement is when a citizen of the United States has their right to vote taken away because of the crime they commit. This is completely unique to the United States, and the laws regarding this idea vary depending on the state. What needs to be focused on, though, is the idea that this disenfranchisement is dependent on the criminalization of Black people, which ends up stripping Black communities of electoral power.
I do believe that people recognize how important it is to vote. And I think that because it is recognized how important it is, that's why we have disenfranchisement. Because that means that folks recognize that being able to vote is a way of making change, bringing about change, having your perspectives and your ideas in the mix of the decision making. And so I have to believe that people recognize that importance and they recognize that right. And that's why so much effort has been put into suppressing the vote of certain groups of people.
And this makes sense because the United States was founded on the idea that only one voice mattered, a white privileged one. So even after the 13th Amendment was passed, which abolished slavery, or the Voting Rights Act, racism reigned on through a loophole. This loophole took away a felon's right to vote.
Black people were 3/5 of a person. So not even a whole person. So when I hear things like we the people and, justice for all, who is the all? Because, there were groups of people that were not even considered full human beings, which is absolutely ridiculous. So do I believe that now there are folks out there that don't want certain groups of people to vote? Absolutely. And I believe that they will do everything they can to maintain a system that was originally created to keep people from voting. They want to keep that system in place.
Yeah. And it was no coincidence that a Black person was and is more likely to become a convicted felon in their lifetime. 1 in 3 Black men will go to prison, to be exact. The criminal justice system, just based on that statistic, is based on systematic racism, where Black people are incarcerated at higher rates and are more likely to be wrongly convicted, 6 times to be exact. By taking their right to vote away on the basis of this racist system, we lose an important perspective of America as a whole.
It just seems like a no-brainer that that contributes to morality of individuals. If I feel I've committed a crime, I have a felony, I've done my time, I'm now out, but I can't vote, but I pay my taxes. I have these other responsibilities that are required of me, but I don't have a say in who represents me in my community. It doesn't make sense.
Right. That's also something that I found really interesting is the whole paying taxes thing because you still have to pay taxes when you're in jail. But I mean,
Exactly, and it builds up. And again, the snowball effect. You're in prison, in jail, so you're not working, you're not making the money that one would need to make to pay these taxes and whatever other restitution or whatever court fees and all those things. So you get out and you're already in facing hardship. Not everyone is a murderer. Not everyone is there for a violent crime, and not everyone is that horrible person that TV would believe us would lead us to believe everyone is in prison. And so I believe we need to treat people as people. Brian Stevenson, my favorite quote that he says is, we are more than the worst thing we've ever done.
right.
That is, yeah, I've done bad things, but I am not defined by that. I am not just that. And so when we call people, jailbirds or, oh, well, that's a felon, those kinds of labels have major impact. And so we need to think about the power in our words as well.